What is going on, baseball fans? It's Tino here, back with another New York Mets video. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome to WHADDYA SHEA, the exclusive YouTube channel for all things New York Mets. And the Mets have made a bit of a splash today. Baby splash. Not as big as the Lindor-Carrasco trade, but they were a part of another trade here where they signed left-handed 27-year-old pitcher from the San Diego Padres, Joey Lucchesi, and that's a nice little addition. And with the addition of Lucchesi potentially working into the back end of this rotation and the signing of Carrasco, I thought it'd be a really good idea if we just take a look at what the Mets pitching staff would look like as of today if the season had started. Similar to what we did with the lineup, this one's going to be more realistic, but we'll take a look. And let's start with the best pitcher in baseball, and that's Jacob deGrom. Just look at this sex symbol of a pitcher. I mean, what do I even have to say about Jacob deGrom? I mean, his numbers speak for himself. The body of work speaks for itself. I mean, this is easily the best part of the video because I don't really have to say much. He could have, should have, and should be still the NL Cy Young winner. Could have been a 3-time consecutive Cy Young winner, but that's besides the point. It's the only knock on his season last year where he posted a K per 9 about at 13, which was absolutely nuts. And really the only thing you could come at him for is that the Mets don't score enough runs for him to reflect wins and losses. But at this point, we're already used to that. I mean, we're years in, multiple Cy Youngs in, we're over that. And we don't need to stay on King Jake very long there. Obviously, he's the head of this rotation and a reliable security blanket, but now we have some other guys here that could really make a mark and really change this rotation for something that we're not really accustomed to seeing since probably the early days of deGrom, Syndergaard, Harvey, and that whole thing. And so adding Carlos Cookie Carrasco, man, is a big addition. I mean, a really big addition. And when you want to look at the type of pitcher that the Mets are getting in Carrasco, really, if you just checked out that press conference, you need to go much further than that. Just an all-around great guy. It's hard to find something you don't like about him. We'll take a look at his numbers here. But Carrasco, what you won't see on his numbers, 2019 Comeback Player of the Year after his battle with leukemia. He also won the Roberto Clemente Award. Just a great overall guy. But not only has he battled back, last year he looked as good as new. In 2020, of course, small sample size, Carrasco ranked 6th in the AL with 82 strikeouts, 9th in batting average against with a 221 posted, 7th in ERA with a 2.91, and 8th in innings pitched at 68. And now, hear me out, those numbers are no fluke because the guy we're getting in Carrasco, this is what he's accustomed to doing. I mean, these are steady numbers. Look at his trends over here since 2015. I mean, really absurd. He's ranked in the top 6 in strikeouts in 5 of the last 6 seasons, top 8 in ERA in each season since 2017, top 8 in innings pitched since 2017, top 13 in batting average against since 2015. I mean, so to put it very nice and easy here, the Mets found a consistent stud in Cookie, and there is no doubt that you got to ink Carlos Cookie Carrasco here in at that number 2 spot for this Mets rotation. And now this is where things get a little wishy-washy because I want to put Noah Syndergaard here in the 3 spot. I wish I could. I mean, when you really think about it, there are 3 straight guys with 10-plus Ks per 9 in a row there if you add Noah to that 3 spot or even the 2 spot, whatever you wanted to do if you have a preference. But I think Carlos should be that number 2. And obviously, you know, Noah's going to have to work his way back. So he's a long ways from being the 3. But I want to talk about him because he's coming back in June. Now Noah has a career K per 9 at 9.7. Cookie's at a 9.5. And deGrom is stupid with a 10.5. So, you know, he'll have to be eased back, but that's a really good potential 1, 2, 3 with Carrasco under contract, deGrom under contract, and Noah and Marcus are both going to have to pitch for their contracts this season. But if I had a preference, I'm going with Noah Syndergaard over Marcus Stroman. But now, as I just hinted at, with Marcus Stroman here and Noah still rehabbing, that means you slide Marcus Stroman in at that 3 spot, which is understandable, but I have some concerns with Marcus Stroman. I think he might be a little bit of all talk. And I know that's an unpopular opinion, or maybe it is a popular opinion, and I'm not really sure. I don't want to speak on behalf of all Mets fans, but last year was a bit disappointing. I think the Mets looked to count on Marcus Stroman last year, and he bailed out after his injury when he saw how the season was going, and it was disappointing. But let's take a look at Stroman's numbers here. And look, he hasn't done a whole lot with the Mets. He played a half season, and when he did, it was pretty underwhelming. Stroman finished 4-2 with a 3.77 ERA and 11 starts. Other than his huge outing against the Nationals, which he didn't even pick up the W for, in his 60 innings pitched, very underwhelming. And look, he was an all-star in 2019. That's great, but since his 2017 Golden Glove season with Toronto, he really hasn't put together all that great of a season when you look at the numbers. And so, with all the uncertainty on the back end of the rotation, it is vital for the New York Mets here to really get something out of Marcus Stroman. And, as I said, with him and Syndergaard both being in contract years and Marcus coming back for this season, which a lot of people were uncertain for, I think he will have a huge year, being that he's trying to get paid. And I would not be surprised if that's the case, but I'm really looking forward to him doing something and proving me wrong and proving these doubters wrong. But there are so many questions from the back end here, even with Lucchesi and Matz, and Stroman would be a big part of really salvaging this rotation. But, someone I'm really confident in, and this is considered the back end of the rotation, I'm not very uncertain about this guy after his stellar rookie year. David Peterson played an incredible season last year. I mean, really, really well in his time in New York. Finished 6-2 with a 3.44 ERA and 9 starts, nearly 50 innings pitched, and he's the reliable lefty in this rotation. I know they just signed Lucchesi, and we have Matz behind him. We'll get to Matz in a second, but I feel very confident in David Peterson to hold down that 4 spot and really give the Mets a bridge of comfort going into that 5 spot of uncertainty in this rotation. And again, all that uncertainty circles back to the fact that Steven Matz has been very unreliable for the New York Mets the last couple of years, and signing Lucchesi isn't exactly the answer to all our problems. They're still in the market for a 5 pitcher because, or higher, and move everyone down, move Peterson down to the 5, because these guys have been unreliable, and no one's been crazier on a roller coaster than Steven Matz. I mean, Steven Matz has had a roller coaster of a career with the New York Mets. I mean, from his highs of a rookie season and second-year player to the lows of whatever the hell has been happening for the last 4 seasons. Matz did not record a win last year in his 9 appearances and 6 starts, a disgusting 9.68 ERA, and hasn't been much better the 3 seasons prior, posting an ERA around 4 or higher in all 3. I mean, Steven Matz scares the hell out of me, whether he's in the rotation or even in the bullpen. Now, I'm not sure if it's a confident thing, but he's definitely off his game with the Mets, and for whatever reason, just in whatever position he's in with the Mets, things just aren't working out, and that's why they're still in the market for another pitcher, and they've gone the route of Joey Lucchesi. But I still don't think that they're done. Now, look, Lucchesi's a guy that, look, I touched on it. He can compete for that last spot in the rotation, no question. But they're both going to have to prove something, whether we have spring training or not. It looks like it's in line, but that's a job they're going to have to win in the spring, and I don't think it's going to come easy. So there's a lot to be seen with this team and what they decide to do with the back end of this rotation, but it's clear that they're moving in the position of signing depth, getting a lot of arms, and if they don't make that rotation, they're going to move back into that bullpen and just give more weapons and more arms for them to use coming out of the pen. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Let me know a few things, actually. Which Jacob deGrom did you like more overall in his career? The long-haired Jacob deGrom or the clean-cut Jacob deGrom? Because the more I'm looking at it, I'm starting to miss the flow. But the flow didn't win the Cy Young, so it's something we'll have to adjust to and understand, over time. I know it's not coming back, but let me know if you guys miss it. Comment that below. And I'm going to try to do these videos at least once a week, primarily Mondays or maybe Tuesdays if it gets too late. This is a late Monday for me, so I should get this out by tonight. But if not, this will be up on Tuesday. And be on the lookout very soon for a WHADDYA SHEA live stream between the entire WHADDYA SHEA family and the entertainer and the Mage, because the Mets may be making noise this week with a George Springer signing, because the word got out that Springer may sign with Toronto, but one way or another, things are getting done this week with him. So please be sure to hit that thumbs up button below. Make sure you comment letting me know what Jake you like, or just telling me what you like about this video or any other videos you'd like to see about the New York Mets moving forward. Please sub to the channel if you haven't already, and turn those notifications on to make sure you get all the updates for videos moving forward. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon. Let's go Mets.